Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, your sponsor, Nishma Sam Yakushalom Lab Sitzchok. We're holding on Metzia Daf Samech Gimel. We're starting at Samech Beis on the bottom. The more trying to figure out the case of our Mishnah. When we had the Mishnah referred to a Ribis de Rabbanon, when one comes and gives his friend and gives him wheat on the condition that he'll give him wine, the Mishnah says when he comes back to ask for the wine, the borrower, the one who took the wheat, doesn't have the wine, he cannot be poisek. He cannot agree to give him wine in a higher share. So I want to try to figure out why is that so. What's the pshat in the Mishnah? So when it says Ela Marovo, I'll explain to you the Mishnah. Kishechivno, when I will be nifter, when I'll go up to Shemaim, Rabbi Shayo Nofak Levati. Rabbi Shayo will come and greet me. Here's where the Sefer Chasidim says, we mentioned in the end of Opakamo, the idea that when someone works on someone else's Torah, so the person that he worked in his Torah will greet him in Shemaim. So Rava says, Rabbi Shayo will greet me. Why? I explain the Mishnah based on Rabbi Shayo's Shita. What's the Rabbi Shayo's Shita? The time of Rabbi Shayo, Reuven lend money to Shimon. Comes to the field of Shimon. Tell me, he says, please give me my money back. I want to use the money to buy wheat. I do have wheat. I will give it to you. Okay, whatever the chit is right now. I owe you $100. Chit is worth $100. What can you buy for $100 in the market? You can buy 3 pounds of wheat. 3 pounds of wheat is yours. He gives man chitim limkor. Now he wants to sell the wheat. He says, okay, the wheat, remember you told me you have my wheat? 3 pounds of wheat? I want the wheat because I want to sell the wheat to buy with the wine. He says, no problem, I have wine. Let me know what what the worth of the wheat is today. So now, even if the 3 pounds of wheat today are worth more than $100, they're worth $110. So how much can you buy with $110 of wine? I can buy 5 gallons of wine. He gives money and I want to sell the wine. He says, now give me my wine. I want to sell it, buy with it oil. So I have oil. Whatever the oil is worth right now. The oil could be worth now $120. So he says, okay, whatever the wine is worth now $120. Whatever the $120 is, let's go buy the oil. Kulam, in all the cases, in all the cases, if he has the item, it's mutter. If he doesn't have it, it's also. And this is different than what we learned before. Right before, and the based in the first option of the Gemara learned, and as the Gemara is going to explain in a moment, that if I don't give the actual money or item right now, and just the obligation to give, even if the owner, even if the borrower has the item, he cannot give the item as an exchange. You need to have that the lender will give the borrower either money or another item. But just the fact that it has an obligation doesn't work. That's what we learned, and that's based in the middle. Now Rishai says, no, it's fine. As long as the borrower has the item, he can give him the item and then give it even for a higher price if the item changes value, as long as he has the item. And he made that's the Pshat Mishnah. Pshat Mishnah is, he had wheat, I says, give me wine. He says, if the borrower has the wine, that's fine. The borrower does not have the wine, it's not fine. This is the Chiddush of Rabbi Shaya. So, well, my lokach, what is lokach? Lokach ba'alva. He didn't actually take the item, he took it with alva. And here comes the big machlokes. Rashi Tais, we mentioned previous on. Rashi says these words are incorrect. Because when the Mishnah says lokach, we're talking about the wheat. And Reuven gave Shimon the wheat, originally was the actual wheat. The wine is what Shimon doesn't have. So why it says lokach ba'alva? He took the wheat itself. The Taisus does agree with the Gizgir because Taisus learns that even in the case of the wheat, you talk about that Reuven did not give actual wheat to Shimon. He just gave him the chayiv, the obligation of the wheat. Okay. You see from Rishaya 3 things. An obligation can be exchanged for a fruit, for an item. Don't tell me, no, you actually have to have a physical item going from the lender to the borrower, as we saw yesterday in the sheet of yesterday that the Gemara mentioned in the previous summit. Vishraminu udiyeshna. Mishrana only if the borrower has the item. He has the wine, he has the wheat, so you can give it to him in lieu of his obligation. But if he doesn't have it, you don't say it. Vishraminu Yisrael Rabbi Yana, you look from here that we hold like Rabbi Yana. Meaning the fact the Rabbi Yana learns that it doesn't matter if I can give you anything that I can use with the obligation works. Malihem, mali dmeim. As the Gemara goes on and explains. Just to see Lashon Rashi, the Shema Mino, what was the Chiddush over here? When it comes the time of the wheat to sell, you value the wheat based on the current shar, more expensive. You buy whatever, you could buy the wine right now. When he decided to sell, he gave him a valuation of fruits. If he gives manu limkor, he has to sell it. Although the Tove came and demanded it, in other words, when and if the person does not give an actual item, he gives him the money, that's good enough. So, what do we learn? Which means, if a person has an obligation, you can give in exchange of the obligation the fruits, but not money. Let's look at Lashon Rashi. Amono appears. Give money, with trust, based on the current shar, whatever the current rate is. So I give you money right now, give me wheat, even if the wheat will increase in value. But you don't do that for money. So meaning, Reuben can give Shimon money and say, I'm giving you now $100 for whatever is worth the wheat. Whatever the wheat is worth. So Shimon can give him wheat, even though the wheat is going to be worth $110. But Shimon cannot give him $110 because that's the worth of the wheat. So according to Rav, if Reuven told Shimon, here's $100 for the value of wheat, and now the value of wheat went up to $110, Shimon cannot give $110 to Reuven. He needs to give, because he can give wheat worth $110, but he can't give money worth $110 because that's a ribbon, because it looks like ribbons. He's giving 100, he's giving 110. Raviani says you could give also the money, right? So you don't have to give only the fruits, you give also the money. The Gemara learns from Rishaya so that when the lender comes to the borrower and says, I want my wheat, he says, forget about the wheat, I'll give you the wine. The more understands that we're talking about that he doesn't have the wheat, he has only the money worth of the wheat. So instead of I'm giving you whatever the wheat is, I'm giving you something in lieu of it. So that means you don't have to give the actual wheat, you give the worth of the wheat, which is basically called the dummy. So says the Gemara now, the words we're talking about this machlokes. Can you give the value of the wheat or the wheat itself? Kulam im yesh lo mutter. We learn dafkim yesh lo. Not sure if he has the wheat. If he doesn't have the wheat, not. And this goes back to Rabbi Shai. So we just learned from Rabbi Shai he can give the money, but we learned by Rabbi Shai im yesh lo, only if he has. Right? It says, look Lashon Rashi. Yesh lo mutter mihad Rabbi Shai kamo yisiv. V'hocha dom kom mikabel. Sheshom lo dmei chitim. You have the money of the chitim. Kabel hayayin sheshav yoyto ma shenosom. Umitchil lo kanai yemeinu v'ayru ki mikabel mois dmei chitim. You're giving the im yesh lo's mutter. So what do you see from here? From Rishayo, you're seeing a rayo that even though you don't have the wheat, you have the money of the wheat. Meaning, what the Gemara said before, Shmamino, that we see like Rav Yanai, that's a raya against Rav. Now, in this case, we're talking about, he did Meshicha. Meaning, originally, when he took the wheat, he was Moishech the wheat. So what happens like this? When he comes to Shimon, gives him money. So I'm going to buy from you wheat. Shimon says, here's the wheat. Reuven goes and he's moishich the wheat. Now the wheat belongs to Reuven. Even though Reuven left it in the house of Shimon, but it belongs to Reuven. Now he goes there and says, where's my wheat? He says, I'm sorry, I'll give you wine instead. So here it's fine because Reuven already owns the wheat. Says the Gemara, if we did Mashiach, you have to tell me this Kiddush. We didn't do actual Mashiach. But Shimon told Reuven, the wheat that I have, this corn is yours. Kiddush is, that works. So again, to understand, according to Rav, if Reuven gives Shimon money, Shimon must give back to Reuven wheat for the money, not money for the money. According to Rav Yeshayahu, when Reuven goes to Shimon and says, give me my wheat, he says, I don't have the wheat, I'll give you wine instead. That's like giving him money, because you're not giving the actual wheat. So you're basically giving the obligation, and you exchange that for wine. So that's really giving him money right now. The wheat that he took originally was worth $100. Now it's worth $110. He's giving $110 worth of wine. So he's giving him in lieu of what he took. According to Rav, you have to say that the wheat already belonged to Reuven, either by Mashiach or Keren Zov, in order for that to work. The reason why it's not a question on Rav, how many abudi? This is Rav Yehuda's shita that he holds to whenever you do a deal, then maybe ribis, but maybe not. It's not ribis. By a deal. Meaning dafka by a deal, not by halva. Not by a loan, by a deal. Titania, so Reuven lent money to Shimon. So Shimon tells him, you know what? The money that you owe, here is my field. The field is yours. The field is yours. But give me time to give it back and to give it back to you. So Reuven gave money to Shimon. Shimon tells him, here's a field. My field is yours. I'm selling to you with the money that you got. If I am able to get the money, I'll buy from you back the field. If the seller, meaning the borrower, Shimon, is eating the fruits, mutter, no problem. Because Reuven owns the field, but Shimon is eating the fruits. And Shimon can give back the money, take back the land, so it's shavah b'shavah. Whatever he gave to Reuven, which is the land, he takes it back, there's no extra money over here. But what happens if Reuven is eating the fruits? So look what's going on over here. Similar to what the Gemara brought earlier in the Masechta. You have over here Shimon. Reuven gave money to Shimon. Shimon gives to Reuven the land. Reuven gets the land and he eats the fruits of the land. After a year, comes Shimon to Reuven and says, here, take the money. I want back my land. So Reuven got money of his loan, plus he enjoyed the fruits of the land for the time that he held the land. So it's ribbis. So it's awesome. The reader says fine. Why? Because it could be that Shimon will never pay back the loan. Right? Reuven gave money to Shimon. Shimon gave him his land. Shimon has the right to redeem the land. But he may never redeem the land. So if he doesn't redeem the land, there's no ribbis. If he does redeem the land, it's ribbis. That's called tzadechad. It's only a maybe ribbis. According to the maybe ribbis is mutter. Says we're sitting over here with the shar. The shar, Reuven gives Shimon money for wheat. Now the wheat may increase in value, may not. If it doesn't increase in value, there's no ribbis. If it does increase in value, it is ribbis. According to Rav, that's a problem. But why we have a brisa against it? That brisa is Shittas Rabbi Yehuda that holds that if there's a chance that there will be no ribbis, it's fine. Only the ma'aseh b'baitus ben zoinim. Rabbi Yehuda writes this shita. We have a story with baitus ben zoinim shaso sodeh mecher al pir ablos ben azayo. He did the same case. He gave his land as a sale to the lender. And the lender was eating the fruits. And they said it's fine. So he brought a story like his shita. Says you make a mistake. That's not the case. They didn't allow the lender to eat the fruits. What's the machlekes of Rabbanan? That's our Gemara understood now. Is if it's only a maybe ribbis, that's a machlekes. Is it a problem or not? Rav Omar ribbis amanat lahachse kibinah. We're talking about here, the lender is going to give all the fruits back to the borrower. He will give it back to him. But, in the meantime, it looks like ribbis. And the way Toys points out, he argues a little bit of Rashi, but the point is, Reuven tells Shimon, you want it back? No problem. Give back the money. Give me back the land's value. Then I'll give you back the fruits. So in the meantime, as Shimon gave back the money to Reuven got the money of the land, plus he ate the fruits, it's ribbis. He will give back the fruits. But in the meantime, it looks like ribbis. It's ribis of not lachs. So that's the machlokes between Rabbi and Rabbanan, and we wanted to use this to answer Rabbi Yanai's question. So now that Rabbi Yanai said that Samchil base, Mali Demeim Aminan, meaning Rabbi Yanai, what's Rabbi Yanai's shita? That I could give Rabbi Yanai not like Rav. I said before Rabbi Yanai. Before the whole question we had in Mudalaf is according to Rav. Because Rav holds, you give money for wheat, the only thing you give back is wheat. I can't give back the worth of the wheat. Rav Yanai says I can give the wheat or its worth. So Mali Dmei and Mali Em Naimim. We could say also the opposite. If Reuven gives Shimon money, Shimon could give to Reuven either the money itself that he gave, or any other item that you could buy with the money. Rashi says, one second, we'll talk about what is Dmeim? Dmeim is money, no? So we're talking about money, we're talking about the item. Says Rashi, depends. Dmeim is the exchange of what I gave you. So if Reuven gives Shimon money, when Shimon gives him on Kaddish, give him fruits. So the fruits is the transaction. Anything which is an exchange of the fruits is the Dmeim. If Reuven gives Shimon money, on the Kaddish give you back money, and Shimon gives him fruits, so that's considered to be the exchange of the money. So Mali Dmei Mali Amnaminin. What does it mean? So if Reuven gives Shimon money, and Shimon has the ability to buy with this money something, what's the something? Shash Bashuk. What is Shash Bashuk? So here we have Machlokes Rashi Tezis. Rashi learns that we talk about that you're able to find it somewhere. Meaning the chamarim, the donkey drivers, the wholesalers are bringing this. They're bringing this to the big cities. So you're able to get it. It's not so common. It's not so found. Even though this guy doesn't have it. But if you go to the big city, big marketplace, you'll be able to find this item for this amount. Taisus learns a little differently, another shar. So he learns a little. We talk about different shar, but because it depends on the Gemara that come on. We talk about if Shimon, who gets the money, has the ability to take the money and buy with it something, even if it's a little more difficult, he has to go out to the marketplace and buy it. It's fine because according to Rabbi Yanai, whatever I can do with this money, I could give you the same way Rabbi Yanai learns. That if I make up with you wheat, I give you wheat or the exchange of wheat, whatever I can exchange it for. So I give you money, I can do the exchange of the money, whatever I can do with the money. Even though he doesn't have the actual item, he could give Reuben Shimon the money, tells Shimon, I won with this money, you give me back the rare dates that you buy only in the big marketplace. So I ask a question. So we just learned. Only if the borrower has the item, he could give him the item if not. This is exactly what we mentioned before. Now, there we talk about a loan. Reuven lend the money to Shimon. So if Shimon has an item, he give him the money instead. But if we talk about we didn't talk about a loan, talk about a sale. He's placing Moshe Bashuk, talk about a sale. So then it's something that you're allowed to do. As a sale, you could give money to Shimon and say, this money is in order to buy that item. If he's giving it as a loan, and he says, I want the money back, so then it's also. Says the Gemara, my time. What's my time? Why can't you do Poisik Shab Bashuk even if he doesn't have it? Because what's the problem over here? Reuben gives money to Shimon. Tells Shimon, I need you to get me this wheat, which you can buy in the market, in the kroch, let's say according to Rashi. In the krochim, in the big markets, you can buy wheat, you can buy 3 pounds for $100. Now, eventually, when he gives it back to him, the 3 pounds are not worth $100, worth $120. So he's saying, you're giving him back more than he gave him to pay. He says, you know what? Your favor that you gave me this $120, $100, I didn't gain anything from it. Shakatil, take your favor, throw the chizya on the thorns. My honestly, what did you gain? If I had the money, I would go and buy it in these big marketplaces. So I'm giving you the money. I'm saying, listen, you take the money, you do for me the favor, you go buy it. Not doing derech halva. But don't tell me now that I give you 100, you give me 120. Because I could have gone with $100 to the big city and buy with it the wheat. So instead of me doing it, you're doing it for me. According to you, that we say this svara, so it should work every time I give you wheat, right? I give you a say of wheat, and you give me back a say of wheat, right? I give you 1 pound of wheat, on the condition you give me back 1 pound of wheat. And the idea would be, because the wheat is worth, right now the wheat is worth $100. You have to give me back a pound of wheat later, even though the pound of wheat increased the value. It says if I want to give it to you, I'll leave the wheat in my storage, and my wheat will be worth 120. Boy, you think my wheat will get spoiled in my storage? So why? We know the cloud, you don't give seah b'seah. Why not? Again, there it's a loan. I'm lending you wheat, and you have to give me back wheat. That you're not allowed to do me derech. But if I'm telling you to buy for me something for a certain market value, we're doing it as mekach memkar. I'm giving you this, and you're giving me that you're buying it for me. So even though when it comes to this place, it's worth more, you could have bought from the wholesaler. I could have bought from the wholesaler. That's not considered to be risk. So it's like for you to go to the big marketplace and buy for $100, you need to get some broker to go do it. You need to give some safsira, some shliach. And it costs money to do that. So what is Reuven telling Shimon? I wanted you to buy the $100 in the big cities. And even though right now in this small town it's worth $120, I could have done it myself. You could have done it yourself, but you have to get somebody to travel to the big city to do it. And that costs money. That costs $10. Only the Kayavli, and Echanami is giving him the money. We're talking about here, who will give me $100, plus give him some money. He has to give him some money in order to be able to get that extra money. Rav Ashi says no. In other words, cash is king. If Reuven is sitting in cash, he will be able to get the good market value. Reuven is the one who has the cash in hand. He doesn't need to pay anybody to bring him the merchandise. People will bring in the merchandise. He doesn't have to do anything, and therefore you don't have to pay for it. So this is really enough kamina lahalacha. We're talking about here, when sometimes it has to do a little bit with heter iska, which we'll get to later. But Reuven and Shimon make a deal. Reuven gives Shimon money, tells Shimon, we're partners, right? You go buy the deal and bring it to me. Now, the fact that right now in this market, in the low market, you could buy it for 100, that's good enough to allow Shimon to bring it back to Reuven and give him with 120. Why? Because Reuven tells Shimon, I myself could have bought it. I didn't go and bother doing it. But if there's anywhere where you can buy, it's available to buy on the lower value when I give you the money, even though right now it's much worth more, it's fine if we do it b'derech mekar menkar and not in the way of a loan. And maybe we'll get back to this a little later. Zok to Gemara. Someone gives money to somebody else. What does it mean atar charifo? It means, look at Rashi. You talk about an early rate. It's not yet available in the market. It's before it just start to grow. Before the harvest. You go to the field before the harvest starts, you can buy things for cheaper. Someone gives money to somebody else. Reuven gives money to Shimon. Tells them, I want to buy from you for the cheaper rate. He needs to come to his garden, to his field, in order for the sale to happen. So what's the getting? To purchase this. I like cutting. It's not cutting by just giving you the money. Even without coming to the field, they made a deal. Give you money in order for you to give me the cheaper rate. It is for Mishapar. So what's the chiddush? When a person gives the cheaper rate, he doesn't give it to one person. He goes to a few wholesalers because nobody knows exactly how the harvest is going to work. So he goes to Reuven before the harvest. He says, "Here, this costs $100. I'm paying you $80. Here's $80. He goes to Shimon, gives $80. He goes to Levi, gives $80. The one who actually comes through, he'll die for me. The other ones, the sale will be void. So, if he comes to his field, so now we know he comes to Reuven's field, I mean he wants to buy from Reuven. But if not, I mean the Ishtaka period, the Shofar Midini, Reuven tells the buyer, listen, I know you gave it to me, to Shimon, to Levi, and you ended to do a sale of Shimon. So I didn't keep for you the fruits. The Shokal, you bought something, you found something better, and you bought it. So says Rav, you have to go to his field. But if he met it in person in the market and says, hey, we have a deal, I'm going to give you money. It's not just that it's some kind of a agreement that we did. I'm finding you in the market. So once they have that meeting, that is a smichus das. So the first one, the Amar said, he has to Amish come to the field of Reuven for Reuven to have the smichus das. Rashi says, even if he meets him in the market, there's a smichus das. Once they have the meeting of the mind, it works. So what's the machlekes? The machlekes is, when you give money a shayach for now, you're really ribis. He has the wheat. He's giving him a discount. But the question is, when is that sale happen? Says the Gemara, Omar, I'm now going to close ribis. What's the rule of ribis? Kol ogar notorle osir. Anytime you gain money or you gain time, so then ogar notor, meaning you gain for the fact that you don't give the money immediately. It's osir. So Hashem here discuss in length which case exactly, as we're not coming to tell us. But the simple understanding is, Rav has given us the rule of ribis. And the rule of ribis is what? The rule of ribis is, and this is the cloud. The rule of ribis is time value of money. Reuven gives Shimon money. And because Shimon doesn't give the money immediately, he has some time. And therefore Shimon will give Reuven more money later. That's ribis. So always the rule of ribis is the fact that he's able to not give the money immediately, but to give it later. And therefore, anytime you gain for the fact that you have more time, that's the ribis. So person gives money for wax. And the market is, they sell for 4 for the money. Right? They give 4 for a zuz. For every zuz you buy 4. He says, you know what, I'm going to pay you, I'm going to give you 5 for the zuz. If he's holding on, he has the wax right now. Show me, right? Because he's giving him a discount. So give him 4 for zuz, give him 5 for zuz. Late, he doesn't have it right now. Also, that's also. Here is why. Because why is giving him 5? He's giving him 5 because he's giving him time, the time of money, time value. He gave him a zuz. Right now the market is worth 4. He says, listen, I'm going to give you back the zuz in a month, but I'll give you 5. So I'm giving you more than the value right now. That's ribis. But he has the 5 right now. It's considered to be that Reuven purchased, got the 5 immediately. What's the chiddush? Shimon does have credit. He does have credit right now to get wax from Levi. It's not that he doesn't have anything. He does have credit to get it right now. So because he has his credit, it's a technical thing. The reason why he doesn't have the wax right now, because he didn't collect it yet. So it's really like what we mentioned earlier in Masechta, we'll get to it soon. A person says he has wax in his house, he just doesn't have the key. So he tells him, I'm going to give you the wax for the worth of 5, but I'm sorry, I can't access it right now. My servant is bringing me the key, he went to a trip, he's coming back in a week. Or until my son comes and is going to help me out. So, is that okay? That's okay, because he has it. So here, you would think that maybe Shimon is considered to be that he has it, because he has credit by Levi. Right now, it's not in the hands of Shimon. Right now, Shimon still needs to go and extract it from Levi. So it's not considered to be that he has it, and therefore, this is the classic ribis. Reuven, the classic ribis, they're abundant, even though here's more of a sale. Reuven gives money to Shimon on a certain item. The item is worth X. He's giving him back X plus if he owns the item. That's what we mentioned the whole daf. So then, it's not ribis. He doesn't own the item. So then you have a problem with ribis. This because he doesn't own it, even though he has the credit. And obviously, this opens up a big discussion with Shane. Just to mention that Tosis has a problem with the Sugil Lekawan 9a, which Beis Hashem will get to. How do you answer the two sugis together? This is an important place over here, which we'll address Beis Hashem later in the parak. Kol Tov.